Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. Those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Maria, and today I'm going to be trying out, it's the newly released, the Dior Backstage, it's the 007 Coral Neutrals. I really like these Dior Backstage palettes, and I have 4 others. I've got one in the cool neutrals and the warm neutrals. I also got last year the plum neutrals and also the bronze neutrals as well. And the other day I just reached for one for my everyday makeup. I think the formulas are really lovely. They have a great formula variation within the palettes. It's usually shimmers, mattes, and there's also 1 or 2 metallic shades in there as well. So these eyeshadow palettes have 10 grams of product. They are made in France and they have a shelf life, it says on the packet, 6 months from date of opening. They last a lot longer than that. This one is limited edition, just the same as that Plum Neutrals was last year. So let's take a look inside. It has the usual packaging on the outside. I really like this. I think it looks really, really lovely. Now I also took a photo of this palette in natural light. It was in the late afternoon, and I will pop that up here so you can take a look at that. And this is what the shadows look like. So I've got this holding it up upside down, but from how you're looking at it, from top to bottom and left to right, we have a warm bronze, a copper brown, and a deep mauve. Then we have a warm tan, a pink coral, a tangerine, and then we have a coral blush, a golden peach, and also their primer shade. Now I don't often use their primer shades, but when I used one of these palettes the other day, I did use the primer and I thought it wore really well. So I will use that today. So I'm going to swatch all of these 9 shades on my arm, including the primer. So if some of you are interested to see the shade of that primer, you'll be able to see what it looks like. So these are pretty pigmented, these shades. It only took 1 swipe to do each swatch. So this is the primer, and I don't know whether you'll be able to see it because it really exactly matches my skin tone, which is light to medium, and on my arm probably more towards the medium side. Then we have golden peach, which is a highlighter, a shimmer coral blush. Then we have tangerine and pink coral, both of these are shimmers. Then a warm tan. Then we have a deep mauve, which is a matte, and a copper brown, which is a matte. And then last is their metal colour, which is a metallic formula, and that is warm bronze. So I already have my foundation on and concealer under my eyes, and I've also put a bronzer on. It's a Dior bronzer, and the foundation that I've got on today is a new one that I'm testing out, and I'm doing a nearly full day wear test on that foundation, and that's a Dior one as well. So I haven't primed my eyes yet, so I'm going to use the primer that's in this palette, and I think I'll just put it on using my finger. Now when I used this primer the other day, I thought it went on really well. I did set it down. It has more of a creamy type of feeling. I normally use, if you watch my other videos, I normally use the MAC Paint Pot one, and that is a cream formula as well, but this possibly feels slightly more creamy. So when I put this on, I do set it down using a powder. It's from the Makeup by Mario brand, and I just find that sets down primer really, really lovely. So I will do that in a minute. So this is the Makeup by Mario that I was talking about. It's the Master Eye Prep and Set, and this is in medium. I don't tend to use these two, but I love using this powder if I'm going to set down eyeshadow primer. So this is just a Wayne Goss brush, and I just do a very, very light dusting over the primer just to set it down. So I'm going to take the Rapha number 15, and I'm going to go into this shade here, and this is the shade, this is warm tan. This I'm going to take the SUQQU, this is the Blender Pro, and I'm going to go into the matte shade, and this is the shade Copper Brown. I'm not going to use all the shades because there's quite a few of them, there's 8 of them, but I do want to use a few just so you can get to see what the different shades look like. So this is the one I'm going to use on my outer corner, and just take that up as well. So next I'm going to take the reference number 14, and I'm going to go into this shade here. This is a shimmer, and this is called Coral Blush. I think this is gorgeous, and I think it would be a beautiful shade for a blush as well. It is really, really pretty. So I'm just going to take it through there and put it over the rest of my lid as well. Now I do want to use that tangerine shade. It's going to be fairly pigmented, I think, because these shadows are so far, but I love the coral color story. I think it's gorgeous. And the other day I did a video using one of the new Dior, the Velvet Quince, the coral paisley one, and absolutely beautiful. So I really do love these colors. So I'm going to take a SUQQU brush. I'm going to use the crease one, and I'm going to go into that tangerine shade. I'm going to go fairly easy with it though, because they are fairly pigmented. But I just want to put just a little bit of this color just up through here. I'm going to take the SUQQU soft shader, and I'm going to go into this shade here. I'm actually going to put a little bit of this. I want a little bit more brown through here, I think. But first I'm going to put some of this on my lower lash line. Then I'm going to take the SUQQU, this is the pencil one. I'm going to go back into this shade here, the Coral Blush. This is the shimmer one. And I'm going to put some of that over top of that warm bronze, just in through here, just to sort of lighten it up a little bit as well. So then I'm going to take the SUQQU, the mini booster, go back into this darker shade here. This is the one where I just want to put a bit of this just in the outer corner here, just to add just that bronze color. I think it'll look really nice, and just deepen it up a little bit through here. Then we'll take the Refa number 2 and go into the highlighter shade. This is the one here called Golden Peach, and I'm going to put that through here. And then I've just given the pencil one brush a wipe down on my microfiber cloth in front of me, and just go back into that highlighter shade and put some of that on the inner corner. So I've now put on some eyeliner and mascara as well, and I've also put on some blush. The blush that I've got on, I used very lightly. It's one of the new SUQQU ones, and this is the Melting Powder Blush, and this is in shade 03. These are absolutely beautiful blushes, and these are part of their permanent line. I think they are beautiful. I've got about 3 different shades now, and the formula is just outstanding. These are quite pigmented blushes, but as long as you go fairly easy, which I wanted to do today because my eyes have ended up quite bold, so I just wanted to go fairly easy with the blush. And for the eyeliner, I used Charlotte Tilbury one. It is the classic, and what I did is I just tight lined on the upper lash and put a very small amount on the lower lash just to give some definition, but I think that this colour goes beautifully with all those gorgeous coral colours. So now I'm going to put on some lipstick and some lip oil. So the lipstick is a lip balm. It's from the Dior Riviera collection and I love the shade. It is 726 in bronze, and with this gorgeous coral lip oil, I put this over the top and I think the both together look really, really beautiful. So I'm just going to pop on the lip balm first. The lip balm has sort of, when you see, I don't think you'd be able to see if I held it up, but they have these slight sort of sparkle in the bullet. You can't feel it once the balm is on, but it sort of lifts the colour and it's just beautiful. So here is the finished look, and altogether I think this is really beautiful. Now I know some people don't like corals. It seems to be a colour that people absolutely love or they absolutely hate. I love these warm shades. I think they are absolutely gorgeous. This palette is really lovely, and the colours that I use are definitely punchy and they stand out. You could use this palette even in a more subtle way. I think this coral blush, together with this shade here, and maybe a little bit of that for depth, and I think you would get a softer look. When you start using this shade here and this one like I did today, you definitely get a brighter sort of bolder look, but I love it. I think they look really, really beautiful. And like I said, I just love the corals anyway. I think this is a really lovely palette. I love the Dior Backstage palette formulas. I think they blend really beautifully. They have great staying power. When I used one the other day, I put it on early in the morning. When I went to take my makeup off at night, it looked just the same as when I had put it on. I do think I need to use, when I use this palette, the primer that comes with it, because it is a really good primer. And when I used it the other day with these shadows in the other palette that I used, and I've got that other palette in front of me. Which one was it? It was, this is the Warm Neutrals palette, and this is really lovely. And this is when I use the primer and the shadows together, just like I have today. And it looked really, really good. And because I set the primer down using that light layer of that Makeup by Mario, that light setting powder over the top, it does help set that primer down. But I didn't find that it went oily on my lids or anything like that. I do have oily eyelids, although it isn't summer here in New Zealand. It's now autumn. Next month it's going to be winter, but the days have actually been really warm, and I did find that the eyeshadows wore really well that day. And like I said, they have great pigment. They last well into the evening from wearing them in the morning, and I just think they are really, really beautiful. They are eyeshadow palettes that I do reach for a lot. This is probably slightly more bold than my everyday type of makeup, but every now and then I do wear a brighter colour, and I do tend to go for the corals because I just think they look so beautiful, and these colours are absolutely gorgeous. And I love that SUQQU blush. I think it is beautiful. I've done a video using it before, but it had been a while since I pulled it out, but really gorgeous formula. And these two together, I did get one of the coral lip balms as well, and this is probably meant to go over the coral lip balm, but I think over the bronze, I think it's really lovely. And I love these lip balms. I love the formula of them. They feel moisturizing. They're easy to reapply during the day, and I love them because they are more subtle than your normal type of lipstick. So for a bronzy colour, it doesn't go on quite so deep, but I quite like that. And I love it with this coral eyeshadow. I think together it looks really, really pretty. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you next time. Bye.